At the birth of the American police force was the intent to protect and serve their community, which quickly took a turn as they began to turn their main focus on being slave patrol. As a history major, researching our country's past is my passion. And after living through and observing the amount of police brutality in my country, I took it upon myself to do my own research on how far this issue has gone and what we can do to control it. Our local police have our lives in their hands in any emergency situation that may occur. And when these officers begin to use lethal force when not deemed necessary, we may begin to question whether we are in fact safe. Reallocating our police budget can help minimize police brutality in the country. By quickly informing you through this complex issue, I'll be speaking on the problem of police brutality at hand, what the redistribution of funding looks like, and what we can do as individuals to help. And considering that we have sure been hearing about this since the unfortunate death of George Floyd back in May, this issue goes way back to the 1830s. Police use physical force in situations way too often when not needed. This can lead to situations of injury or even death. When policing was introduced to the southern states back in the 1830s, they used them as an advantage to ensure that slaves were brought back to the rightful owner and punished accordingly. According to Dr. Gary Potter's text, one of the primary functions of police was to provide a form of organized terror and to deter slave revolts. During the Civil Rights Act of the 1964, according to Victor E. Kapeler in his article, police harassment simply meant people of African descent was more likely to be stopped and questioned by police, while at the other extreme, they had to suffer beatings and even murder at the hands of white police. In modern day policing, they're sent to deal with situations of nonviolent crimes that sometimes take a turn to the worst. Not very long ago, an example, in 2014, a little boy, 12 years old, Tamir Rice, was shot and killed by police. And in a New York article written by Shayla Dewin and Richard A. Opel Jr., said that the county sheriff's office revealed how a series of miscommunications, tactical errors, and institutional failures by the Cleveland police cascaded into this irreversible mistake. There are thousands of stories just like these of men, women, and children being wrongfully killed by police, and nobody is held accountable for it. In an article written by the National Trial Lawyer states, in Illinois, criminal law warranted using deadly force in self-defense to prevent riots of endanger officers or to deter suspects from fleeing. Instead of protecting these people, they attack them with deadly force while exercising their rights as Americans. Now that we understand what the issue looks like, I would like to inform you on what the goal is when deciding to reallocating these funds. Police have too many advantages in the system, and that more often than not cause them to have the ability to go against the people they're supposed to protect. There is excessive police funding in certain areas that could be ejected and reallocated into the community in which they serve. It's important to note that defund does not mean abolishing police. On the website Join Campaign Zero, they state the events in Ferguson have introduced the nation to the ways that local police departments can misuse military weapons to intimidate and repress communities. And in 2014, militarized SWAT teams killed at least 38 people, and studies show that more militarized police departments are significantly more likely to kill civilians. A solution to this would be to end the federal government 1033, a program providing military weaponry to local police departments. And this just restricts them from deploying armored vehicles and military weaponry, as well as the SWAT teams. An example of a city defunding the police in Austin, Texas, is an article on Forbes' Jemima McEvey. She states that the city council on Thursday voted unanimously to cut $150 million, which is roughly 1/3 of their budgeting, from the police budget and reinvesting in social programs. And that includes food access and violence prevention, which is the best route when reallocating this funding. It's by reinvesting it into recreational centers, trauma centers, and forgivable loans for minority communities. An article by David Retch says since 2000, overall funding for 13 major house, health, and social service block grant programs in the federal budget and has fallen to 27% of adjusting for inflation. This is why it's so important to fund social service programs in the community. This information may cause you to view things in a whole new perspective, but there are many things we can do as individuals to help. Coming together as a community with a mutual understanding can have a huge impact on this issue. I forgot to do the slides. Acknowledging and accepting that police brutality happens. Acceptance is the first key. Understanding and advocating to the community can take a small part in a big world of change. Understanding the mission can help others, and in the process, educating yourself and them. Bearing in mind that this topic has many other issues to cover, I'll leave you with this. Reallocating our police budget can help minimize police brutality in the country, but it is with the help of people like us that can help make more progress. We have amazing organizers in our community and our nation that help us spread the message through like programs such as Black Lives Matter and 805 Resistance. Together we can create peace, equality, and unity we have never seen before. Thank you. I hope it's not too long.